coming a bit late because I'm supposed to start at 7 o'clock, but we had to do some commercials and then the jingles. But I'm here now. Let's get started because we have a lot to talk about. It's a front page review. The headlines are here. I have 7 newspapers. I'll be giving the headlines from 7 Nigerian newspapers. And then we talk about the big stories, the issues in the news. Okay, now to start with this morning, let's look at this day newspaper. Now, the first headline here says, Tinubu signed 2.1 trillion 2023 supplementary appropriation. Court releases Emefiele to his lawyers, says there must be end to detention without trial. Also, we have here that 48 hours to Bayelsa Kogi Imo polls, tension heightens. Abdul Salami committee preaches peace. And that is in this day newspaper. Now, let's take a look at other papers here. We'll start with the Punch newspaper. Off-season pools, electronic collation illegal, says INEC. Please warns NLC. Old bank note remains legal tender, says CBN. UK police probe suicide of a British-born Nigerian. Spread $150 million Abacha loot on Niger Delta. Activist tells Tinubu. Anambra agency uncover mass graves. 322 persons allegedly killed. Bianca Ojukwu. And also in the Punch newspaper, we have here that federal government panel ask varsities to recover 62.9 million naira salary advances. 84 police commissioners, DCPs, ACPs deployed for Imo Pools spokesperson. And 61 directors failed exam, lose bid to become permanent secretary. And now to the Guardian newspaper, we have here that Umbalio's American investors orders to Enugu. Imo community raises alarm over missing youth leader. That story, it's in the Guardian. Now, the writer says that after assassination attempt, house raised siblings injured. That is right there on the Punch newspaper. On the Guardian newspaper, owners of destroyed MVs, Cecilia sues Navy security chiefs in Rivers. And still here, we have, let's move to the Punch newspaper. I think I gave you headlines from the Punch, but I also have one here that says that 61 directors fails exam, lose a bid to become permanent secretary. And let's move to another newspaper this morning. Let's take a look at the Nation's newspaper. Updated EFCC releases Emefiele after court grant ex-CBN chief bail. Tinubu launches digital population database system. Tinubu signs 2.17 trillion naira supplementary budget. And still in the Nation's newspaper, government expenditure increasing but revenue dwindling, says AGF. And another story here in the Nation's newspaper says essence of ECRVS in identity management population data by Tinubu. You could read that report on the Nation's newspaper. Now to the Vanguard this morning, we have here that exchange rates in NECA expert disagree on federal government's target. Bail ex-CBN Governor Emefiele arrives home after 151 days in detention. Senate to probe a purchase of 5 billion naira presidential yacht. And Bayelsa Imo Kogi polls go and vote. Atiku urges PDP members. Of a secular election, don't complain of insufficient funds for polls. Kuka tells INEC. And still here in the Vanguard newspaper, IGP Egwuatu engages Kogi stakeholders ahead of Gubo election. Now to the Daily Trust newspaper, old naira note remains legal tender, says CBN. And Tinubu signs 2.17 trillion naira 2023 supplementary budget. 21 arrested for traffic violations in Edo. That story is in the Daily Trust. And we have 3 days to polls, killings, attack spike in Kogi, Imo, Bayelsa. I'm shocked to hear what those who served in Buhari's government are saying about him, says Kuka. That headline you get in the Daily Trust newspaper. And let's move now to other papers. Let me give you one here from Daily Trust, and then we'll get to talk, because looking at the time now, it's far gone. This one is from Daily Trust. Says Imo flight blacklisted nationwide. Uzodinma declares persona non grata. That story is in the Daily Trust newspaper. So we'll end here. Let's move on to discuss now the top stories, the issues in the news. I will connect with Rufai Oseni for the analysis of the stories here. In case you're just tuning in, this is the voice of the people, 90.3 FM. You're listening to the Front Page Review. My name is Mary Onaife Edebi. Yeah, good morning to you. Good morning to you, Rufai Oseni.
Bless you, Mary. How are you?
I'm doing well this morning. I'm doing really good. Good to speak with you. Hope you're doing well too.
My pleasure. Yes, let's go.
Okay. Now we have 48 hours to Bayelsa Kogi Imo pools. There is tension heightens. A lot of stakeholders are calling on peace. They are preaching peace to ensure that the election goes smoothly. But when you listen to public opinions and people talk about the election, you can see that the electorate some are afraid. Number one, the integrity of INEC to conduct an election that they can boast of, and also the security of lives and properties of people that will come out to vote. Although we hear in the news that the IGP has deployed a lot of policemen and armed men to make sure that the election is smooth. I would like to hear your take on the election coming up 48 hours from now.
The comment on INEC should get it right. INEC should not forget that Nigerians are still upset about how much they promised in the last elections and they never delivered. And we all remember the case of technical glitch, that till date we've not known the cause of the technical glitch. I think they should do better in these elections. They are talking tough, they should do better. We also have to call on peace. We have to call for peace. All the stakeholders to please maintain peace. Take, for instance, it's very sad that the SDP candidate in Kogi says he has been attacked over 30 times, and about 3 police officers have been killed on these attacks on his life. That's very sad for our country. And to date, the culprits have not been brought to book. So we call on peace. We call for peace in these elections, and we ensure that the stakeholders must do the needful, and INEC must stand tall.
And another thing that is of concern is the way the politicians are talking about each other, the way they are going about it. A lot of people are saying it's not civil. You're not hearing them debate about issues. You hear them bringing down each other, of which that is not new in our election in Nigeria.
And that's the sad reality. We need to focus on issues. Take, for instance, we had elections yesterday in America, governorship elections in some states. And what was the most important issue? Right of abortion. And you can see that the Democrats got a lot of the votes and did well in the elections collectively because of the fact that they supported the stance on abortion. And you know the Supreme Court recently overturned Roe v. Wade and pushed it to the states. So you can see that the Democrats are really getting the votes because of that. The question is, what are the most pertinent issues? But Nigerians will also argue that every time we debate issues, the truth is people will still twist it. The last elections, the major issue was the economy and the state of insecurity. But you see, because of shenanigans by various authorities, and INEC too has a lot of questions to answer, we saw how things went. And that's why we like to call on the politicians to censor their talk. Take, for instance, in Bayelsa, the deputy governorship candidate of the APC, Makaiva, was saying that they should kill people. And this is the kind of loose talk we hear everywhere during the election season, which is wrong. We must certainly condemn all of that and ensure that we look for ways to build our country. And politicians must stick to the issues.
Yeah. Now let's look at the supplementary budget. It says here in this day newspaper that Tinubu signs 2.1 trillion naira 2023 supplementary appropriation. And on one hand, Peter Obi has fought Tinubu for the 2.17 trillion supplementary budget. A bit of what he said that he faulted the signing into law of the budget by the president. In his reaction, he claimed in a statement that the president failed to consider certain emergency and pressing needs of the country. He noted that going by the manner the budgetary allocation were done, it was obvious the president was unaware of the dire crisis in the country. Now, we see that Peter Obi is really playing the role of an opposition here.
But another thing too, I support him for what he has said because the supplementary budget too looks like a very big charade. You forget that it's in the supplementary budget we had the case of these yachts. And I think we need to investigate the case of this yacht because now we can hear that the yacht has come to Nigeria. And I think we should trigger FOI, Freedom of Information, by writing to the ministries involved, Ministry of Information, and copying other ministries, maybe Ministry of Defense, to tell us more about this yacht issue. There's more that meets the eyes. So if the yacht is in Nigeria now and they are saying that they have added the money to education for student loan, are we saying that we're not going to pay for it? So these are the questions. Is something going on that we don't know about this yacht? Also, yes, a lot of money is in the supplementary budget. Take, for instance, the case of the wife of the presidency. The wife of the president getting about 1.5 billion for cars. That's sad. It's not even an office clearly defined in the constitution. Then other spendings for these new ministries and parastatals. That's also sad because we are complaining the cost of governance, you are increasing the level of ministries, and now you are taking funds that you ought to do for other things. I think some only justification is the award for workers. Yes, that's a justification. And some other spending, yes, okay, on defense and some other areas. But it leaves much to be desired when you look at the line item. But President Tinubu has signed into law supplementary budget. And plus the next year budget, he pushes our budget collective this year and next year into about close to 30 trillion. But our revenue is still small. So we still have to borrow more and all of that. So it's right for making those stands. But also I'd encourage Peter B to be able to itemize and articulate those points he wants us to tackle on. Those are just the concerns.
Yeah. And concerning the yacht, you're quite right, because it's in the news this morning that the Senate to probe the purchase of 5 billion naira presidential yacht. Now, it's in the news here. They are to probe it. And we thought that the money for the yacht has been moved to education. So it means that they've already purchased the yacht. The 5 billion naira yacht is already been purchased. So Senate is going to look into it. And what do you think the outcome would be, to return it or what?
So if you have brought the yacht in, it's after buying it, will you not return it? I mean, it sounds very. I say, let's trigger freedom of information. We need to even know the historical antecedents of the yacht. I suspect something funny is happening. Honestly, between you and I suspect something very funny is happening because all of this is looking somehow. So that's why I say we need to trigger FOI, freedom of information, and write and see, okay, let us even know what's going on there. Let's go on.
We hope in the coming days there's going to be more revelation on the presidential yacht. There's going to be more revelation on it, and then we'll get to talk about it. Now, another big story here is the release of Emefiele. The court releases Emefiele to his lawyer. It says that there must be end to detention without trial. So he's been in detention. We heard he was going to be tried for this and that. And at the end of the day, he wasn't tried for the things many Nigerians thought he would be tried for. And he was in detention for a long period, I think 151 days. But he was released yesterday.
Which is a sad day for rule of law. I mean, and also let's by extension the case of Bauer. Till today, we don't even know the charge against Bauer. Bauer just kept incarceration for a while and afterwards he was released. We don't even know the charge against Bauer. So which is a sad day for the rule of law. So it just means that you and I, Mary, can be picked up and just be kept in incarceration until whoever is leader feels deemed fit to release them. So that you see, that's the kind of country we have built, and it's a sad day for rule of law. And that's why civil society group also must be able to press for a definite rights. Even if you are in court, they have put a charge sheet against you. The next thing you should be able to do, yes, you should be able to attend your court sessions, but be able to get bail. Now they've collected his passport and everything. This was the same bill they gave him 3 months ago. But you remember how the DSS fought the prison, and there was a show of shame between two security forces then over one man. You see, the problem with Nigeria is we have selective amnesia. We are so quick to forget. Now we have quickly forgotten that show of shame and we have moved on. That's the kind of country we built. So it's a sad day for our system. And all have to restore the sanity to our system, much needed sanity in our country.
You know, the question that is being asked by many people is, so he's released just like that. So the matter is over now. So just like that.
That's not over. He's still going to go to court. He's still going, I think, on the 15th or something. So the charge is still against him. So we'll go to court and answer those charges. Not, the matter is not over.
Now, another case here for the CBN concerning the Naira. NECA is saying that they disagree with the federal government target because the government is putting in place measures to achieve an exchange rate of 500, 600 Naira to the dollar. NECA is saying that they don't see this, it's not realistic. They disagree with the federal government. And also you see in the news that old Naira notes remains a legal tender, says the CBN governor, because people were panicking. December is very close, it's just by the corner. And we know that by December, the old Naira notes will cease to be a legal tender. But CBN has said it's still a legal tender. No, it's still a legal tender.
You know, Fitch wrote a report recently. And the report was an indictment on Nigeria. Although some of the people have celebrated the good part of the report, but the report talked about weak governance, a lot of policy somersaults. And that's what we have with Naira. See, you remember my Naira debates that went viral, but I kept on debating that, please, hold the Naira. This idea of floating will backfire because you can't float in a country that is largely dollar dependent and it's a developing economy that doesn't have industries to earn enough foreign revenue. And a lot of people called me all sorts of names then. Today I've been vindicated because now we have floated in Naira and we have seen the ensuing disaster as a result of floating the Naira. And now we have now referred back, we have now reversed to the thing I was talking about then, that, okay, defend the Naira until you are able to ramp up production in your economy before you can say, okay, let me float. So now we are now looking, we have found money to defend the Naira. And now we have relied so much on the policy now that NECA is now talking about the fact that the government wants the Naira to be at a rate of 500 Naira. See, if you are floating the currency, the government should not be the one determining a fair value. That's why there's been a lot of policies also. Because in one breath, the government keeps saying the fair value is 700-800 Naira. But you are saying you are floating the currency. It has to take effect on market forces. Depending on your production and inflow of dollar into the economy, it can go even lower than that. If you have more production in the economy. So the truth has to be said. Now, they are saying all sorts of things. They are saying the value, the rate of the speculators only sense a weakness in your market. Now I'm seeing on other dailies all sorts of blames going around. The truth has to be told. You can only defend effectively your currency if you have very good foreign inflows. About 3-4 years ago, foreign inflows used to be around $115 billion that came into this economy. Today it's just about 74 billion. Even when you look at our I&E window and the daily transactions, they are not up to $200 million. Before, you used to have trades of close to $300 million. So these are the numerous factors that are militating. And that's why when I kept on saying it then, that let's be careful about floating the currency in a developing economy. Oh, we are comparing ourselves, big economies like that. Do you know how much the American government alone collects in in tax and revenue. America's debt is about 33 trillion. But yearly tax and revenue, they collect about 6 trillion. The economy is like it's $17-20 trillion economy. Because they have that level of leverage. But we don't have that level of leverage. We don't even collect close to $30-40 billion in revenue. So there are multiple problems. But you need to be able to fix the production capacity first, and then before you now look at the possibility of, okay, let me put out the pressure. And even at that, you still intervene. And I still make that argument all this while. When England left ERM, the rate mechanism system, they spent £14 billion to defend their currency on one day. But the currency kept on falling. That was what led to Black Wednesday. That's why when you see forex traders, they talk, they say George Soros made 1 billion in a day. You can make 1 billion for forex. They used to lie to you. But the story they were trying to tell is the story of Black Wednesday. After Britain left the European rate mechanism, then the Chancellor of the Exchequer, the Minister of Finance, there was a man called Norman Lamont. And they spent about £14 billion to defend the currency just 1 day. So those that make the argument, oh, leave it to float. If Great Britain can spend close to £14 billion in 1 day and they still lost the battle to defend their currency. So those are the factors I was trying to explain. You see that £14 billion, Nigeria doesn't even have to spend, Nigeria doesn't even spend up to $20 billion to prop up the currency every year. But you can see how much the UK spent for just 1 day because of the size of the economy. So we need to be careful. I just see a lot of people talk a lot of economic mumbo jumbo at textbook economics. Let's be practical.
Let's stop here because of time. We'll have so much to talk about the Naira and what speculators are doing, what CBN is doing, the economy and all of that. And this morning it's in the news that the price of crude oil has dropped. Oil slumps below $80. So we have a lot in the coming days for our economy. We just hope for the best. We hope our government will make the right decisions.
I'd like to ask you, Mary, this is where we are going to see the lie if they are subsidizing or not. Now that oil has dropped below $80 per barrel, are we going to see an attendant reduction in the pump price of petrol in the market? Because they claim they are subsidizing that.
Yeah, that's it.
So this, you see, we should just learn to tell ourselves the truth. It won't hurt. Like Delegiwa said, it's the duty of the government to be able to hide the truth from the people, but it's the duty of the media to be able to reveal the truth. Let's just reveal the truth and tell ourselves the truth.
Thank you so much, Rufai. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure speaking with you. We'll go for a commercial break now. When we come back, we have Ubeda standing by for some more analysis. Keep it here.
The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and cold berry ice cream, delight in every scoop. Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and cold berry ice cream at 11 Road by First Avenue, Festac Town, 28 at Denira Ogunsanya Street, Surulere, 13 Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1. Romeo's Pizza and cold berry ice cream. Romeo, the pizza champions. Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less.
Are you looking Looking for the perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos, number 42, Muritala Muhammad International Airport Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in a beautifully appointed rooms featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your everyday need is met. We also offer complimentary pick-up and drop-off from the Lagos airport.
Take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant.
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So, why wait? Book your stay today and experience ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort.
You're listening to the Voice of the People 90.3 FM is the front page review, and we're taking a look at some of the top stories making the rounds in our newspapers. I have Obed Awede on the line. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mary.
Hope you had a good night.
Every day is good, you know. We thank God.
Thank God. Now, let's talk about the election coming up on Saturday here, 11th, which is not far again. A lot of fireworks. We see that Imo State here said Imo flights blacklisted nationwide. Hope Uzodima declared persona non grata. So, and also Kogi, lots of firework. We saw her, Natasha, went to national television and talked about the governor in a very indicting manner. And in Bayelsa, we will hear that people there are ready to go all out and do anything doable to get the seat. So it's interesting. We are wondering how Saturday will be like.
Well, you know what is happening in this election and what has happened in all of our elections is that the only viable industry in this country is actually politics. It's the only viable sector. It's the one area you know that if you invest and you invest well, you get something. If you invest, you don't do well, you can go to the other party and get something. So everybody pushes us into politics because that's why you see the amount of professionals going to politics. Professionals from everywhere, people are pushing to politics and are telling fanciful tales of, oh, we are doing this because we think we can deliver our people, and in the end of the day, they deliver nothing. So what we are finding in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi is the contest for power. Everybody wants a piece of state resources because state resources is always guaranteed. Why? As soon as they finish chopping everything, they look for loan, they take, they shed. There's always money to be made and they live large. So that's why it happens. If we had a system, for instance, a parliamentary system of polling, where people, you know, I knew of a member of parliament who was coming from Warri in those days, and that is, I read of him, let me put it that way. That was coming from Warri, but he didn't have a house in Ibadan. They have a house in Ibadan, which was capital of Western region. They have a house in Ibadan. Unlike now, where people are coming with so much money, and he will come with his car, he drove himself. He didn't have all those things, but now, they actually made public office so attractive. Attractive in the sense that you actually have a good text, in terms of salaries and what you can do, and you also have the allowance to also legislate further, you know, pay for yourself, which is what they are doing with this Tinubu budget and the rest of them. So that's why we have so much do and die politics in the contest going on in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi. Of course, in Imo State, the NFC has got into the fray. They have become an interested party in the whole thing, and they're saying that the government has been declared persona non grata and the rest of them, and so they are banning flights and the rest of them. It will not affect the election. It will not affect activities there. Yesterday, the report we got yesterday was that, you know, offices still open, that people are still going about what they are doing, and the rest of them. But of course, the NLC is the fray there. In Bayelsa, of course, Silva just won a brief, so it is back. So if people are pushing and it's accusing the governor of supplying arms. And the governor is saying that, look, what can I be supplying arms? You were former governor of this state and the rest of them. So those allegations are there. What Akoti, Natasha said about Abelo too. So the contest is heavy, and that is what we see. But the problem is that we are not seeing substance. Now, if you ask somebody, for instance, what did you do in Bayelsa State? Silva around Bayelsa State for this 4 years. He was governor of Bayelsa State for 4 years. What were his achievements? Diri has done Bayelsa now under 4 years. What are the achievements? All they will tell you, which is very sad, is that look, we've done this road, we've opened up this one, we've done this, we've done so much. You ask yourself that is it just road you're supposed to do? Government is supposed to be a catalyst. You're supposed to have people that will come with ideas. I remember sometime in 07 when Udwaga became governor of Delta State, and I sat with him and I was saying that Your Excellency, that we should need to move this state from oil. You know, because we depend so much on hydrocarbons. You have a state like this so many years, not a single industrial estate. You go to Bayelsa State, not a single industrial estate. You go to Kogi, no, apart from the old ones that were there, no. So what you say is that the new government are not thinking out of the box in terms of how they invest in the infrastructure that will bring about production. People setting up industries and the rest of them. They are not doing that. Why? Because the threshold in terms of expectation and competition at the public sector level is get into power, do something, buy keke, buy okada, give to people, give them a wheelbarrow and the rest of them, and that's empowerment. So we actually have people that are entering government that are thinking very low. So all they are doing is let us grab this power first. And once we get it, we go there, smash it, we grab it, and then we'll run with it. And that's all. so that's why we're having all this. Everybody wants to get into office, not really to serve the people, but to get something out of the system itself.
Grab it, take it, and run with it. Grab the power.
Run with it.
Thank you very much, Obeda. We could talk some more, but we need to open the phone lines now.
Okay, great.
I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Same here,
yeah. So the phone lines are open now. It's your turn to call in and let's get to hear from you. What's your take on all of this? All the headlines you've heard this morning. We want to hear from you. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Mr. Ikan from Isolo Kingdom.
Thank you very much.
Your voice is low. Your voice is usually low when you call.
Well, Mary, sometimes I have to make my voice low.
Better.
Can you hear me?
Better, so that we can all hear you, so that the world can hear you.
Thank you very much. My take is concerning the Naira.
Yes.
You know, the court has said that December will be the last day that we can use the old Naira. And the CBN is now saying that the thing is still legal tender. What I'm thinking is that when it comes to that, would the people accept the Naira? As the CBN, they make provision for the new Naira note so that everybody can have access to it. You know, Nigeria, and when things like this happen, everybody will start to, even the market women, the bus conductor, or every other person, even sometimes you might not even want to take the money. So how do we go about it? And if at the end of it all, then everybody continue to use the old Naira beyond that December, is that not against the law of the land? Because the God that, since you said whatever the law God say is final, would it not go contrary to what we are saying now? That is my question number one. Number two, concerning this election, Mary, like I said yesterday, as for me, it's as much as this Yakubu that is still conducting in this election. There is no election that this man will conduct that free, fair, credible, transparent for everybody. Because we know the kind of person he is. He was also asking for more money for the pre-election. 18 million naira. What has he done with other money that has given to him after all the propaganda and concerning this peace committee? Now I ask, the woman they were killed, they set a blessing to give sex. What has the committee done to that woman? Has the woman get justice? That is what I'm saying. So they should just keep quiet and allow all these fumbling people to go about and do whatever they want to do. Nigeria will still survive after all these people. But I know that the God will judge every one of them that put Nigeria in this situation. Thank you this morning.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Iken. I appreciate you. Hello. Good morning, John Legend. John Legend. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, this is John Legend calling.
Yes, welcome to the program. Where are you calling from today?
Yeah, John Legend calling from Mushi.
Go ahead, sir.
You see, the election in Imo State, I am still saying it, that all the money they want to use for this election in Imo State is a waste of money. Because why? At the end of the day, it will be the same tribunal will determine who become the governor of Imo State. You understand what I'm saying? Because after the whole billions and billions and billions of naira that for the presidential election, it was only either 4 or 5 people determine who become the president of Nigeria, which are the judiciaries. So election in Nigeria is completely a scam. Let us speak the truth and say it how it is. Since there is no constitution in this country.
Thank you, John Legend. Thank you. Hello, you there? Yeah, thank you. I think you calling through WhatsApp and disconnected. You know, I won't let you just go on to say that election in Nigeria is a scam. Because if you're saying it's a scam, we have a sitting president that came in through election. He was elected, the case went to the tribunal, and then it went to the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court affirmed him as our president. So you can't completely write off our electoral process and say it's a scam. That is not acceptable at all. Let's take all the calls. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call in. You can send a WhatsApp message too. You could drop a YouTube message for us. We're going to take it to 0700 903 903 903. We're having issues with the WhatsApp call, so you make it a normal call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, it's Emmanuel from Ilasamada.
Okay, Mr. Emmanuel, go ahead.
I want to concentrate on INEC and the elections for Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo State.
Okay.
Someone has rightly said, if we have to look at it critically, I think it is better for the contestants to just go to the tribunal direct and let the tribunal judge them and put them in the state instead of telling INEC to do anything. Because for me, if there are three funny characters or funny entities in Nigeria that whenever they talk, I just laugh. You see that INEC, you see that NLC, and that those judiciary or whatever. Anytime they say they want to do anything and they will do it right, I just laugh. Because at the end of the day, they see they come back to do nothing. They abuse you but doing nothing. So for me, the INEC now it's more like a scam. It's channel through people siphon money for the party, see, and money for the boys, see. So I don't see anything critical they do that will warrant that after every of the duty conducting elections, you still go back to a tribunal that may be sleeping on election day. Those who may not have voted, and then you want to judge those who voted or those who contested. I mean, I don't see any sense in it. Because if we sit down every day, these people, if you don't do what is right with this military state, this military state now, we create the problem that the other states of February 25 and March 18 did not create. I am telling you, big things do not swallow a man, small things is swallowing. So these three states are critical. If this one do not get it right, like the people wish for themselves, there will be problems everywhere.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Revolution.
Thank you very much for calling. Your time is up. Let's hope that INEC gets it right this time. I understand a lot of people are disgruntled. They are not happy with the last election and all of that. And for that reason, you're already having some feelings concerning this election. But let's hope for the best and let's see how it pans out. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mary.
Good morning to you, sir.
This is Emmanuel calling from Bagada.
Okay, Emmanuel, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, very quickly, first and foremost, concerning the election on Saturday, I just hope INEC get it right this time around, because if truly they will learn from, be it past mistakes or whatever they will want to call it, I just pray they get it right. I will leave it at that for concerning the election. Then also concerning what Rufai spoke on, that is just the truth. There is no, we can't sit down here or say the leader sit here to decide what the rate of the dollars or foreign currency will be, or to determine what it is. It is beyond that. So if we don't do the right thing, it will only continue to get, and let me not use the word worst, but already we are seeing what is happening. You will say you pump in funds, you will say you do this to bring the naira down, and less than a week, what is even a week? Less than days, you see something else. So it just keeps getting out of hand. If you drive around the streets of Lagos, you go through, you see a whole lot of things that at times you just wonder. People are really suffering. People are going through pains. But I just pray their conscience will be able to, prick them a day and to do the right thing and stop fighting speculators or whatever. They are not the problem of this country. If we do what is expected, the whole thing that we need to see, we will see it. Have a good day. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you. It's 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call. Okay, let me take this one from WhatsApp. Hopefully WhatsApp is better. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mary.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to you, sir. What's your name and location?
This is Mr. Anthony from Kaduna.
Oh, Mr. Anthony, good to hear from you. Go ahead.
Yeah, just want to say you're doing a good job and to talk about one or two things that is happening.
Yeah,
one, first and first, those people that are praying for Nigeria, I just speak to them because the people at the helms of our affair, I wonder if they know God. That is just by the way I'll do. Now,
you don't need to know God for prayers to be answered. Go ahead. Yes, so we have to be prayerful. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, for anybody that is happy or that is making a case for any government parasitor brutalizing union leaders, then it is a shame. And I'm afraid that they are also supporting the government to go into anarchy. For Christ's sakes, I listened to the governor of Imo State saying that the labor leader cannot differentiate between him being the leader of the labor union in Nigeria and being partisan. I want to ask this question to most Nigerians that are listening to me right now. Let's assume that the Labour president went to Imo State to protest as a party man. Would he have sent thugs to attack him? That is one question that most Nigerians are not answering. Let's forget about the fact that he's a Labour union, whatever, blah, 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 and the rest like that. But if he had gone there based on the party stuff, would he have been brutalized? So that means you don't have any reason to come into the states if you are not supporting the government for what he's doing. That is that. Based on what Rufai said, I hope that he will always be safe from the clutches of the evil men in this country. He has been saying something that about the naira, about the currency.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, please. Let me just drop this, please. Sorry, please. About the currency, we are not producing. We are only consuming, and we expect the currency.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate you. So that others can have their own take too. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good morning.
How are you, Mary? Good morning.
Hey, Peter Monte. Good morning to you, sir. How you doing?
My sister. Well, thank God. And I guess your night was restful.
To God be the glory. We are here.
Hallelujah. Now, Sister Mary, when we are talking about, maybe I next man have learned a lesson. And I didn't want to go that way this morning. I just wanted to leave politics out. But I can tell you the truth that if this statement is a factual statement, that once beaten, twice shy. Nigerians have been beaten once by this INEC chairman. That's why they are shy this time around. It will be very difficult for me, Peter Omonse, to believe whatever anybody from INEC is saying. You know why? Because if you could go all over the world and make a promise of how, I still hold on that, Mary. Forget about any other aspect of that election. No. For me, if I were to be one of the judges at that, whether the Tribunal or Supreme Court, the question I would have asked INEC chairman would have been, you said this is the way you want to conduct election. Any trouble, you cancel it. And you did not cancel. And at the end of the day, you now said, oh, it's not mandatory. Why did you tell us that there is a game changer? And you did not use that game changer. So for me, INEC chairman and anybody from the INEC, forget it. I will not believe them at all again in my life until Jesus come and call me back home. Now, finally on there is a complaint this morning that the government income is dwindling, but the expenditure is increasing. Yeah. Why won't it increase? You want to buy a 1.5 billion vehicle for the office that the Constitution does not recognize, First Lady's office. You want to buy a yacht? You be traveling with so many convoys, and then you say the expenditure will go down. While Nigerians are suffering out there. Maybe I work for schools. Yesterday I went to one of those schools. A population that I used to take their passport for WAEC, that used to be 100 plus. When I went there yesterday, it was 70-something. And one of the teachers told me that some parents have withdrawn their children from school. In this country, with all the abundance of mineral resources, we cannot train Nigerian children. Mary,
thank you.
Well, let me use a can's word this morning also. God will judge them as he will judge me also on the last day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter Monson. Okay, time to take some WhatsApp messages. I haven't taken any one since. Okay, we have Benjamin from Shogula. This is quite long, Mr. Benjamin. Okay, let me see if I could take it. So, good morning, Mary. For the off-season election coming up on Saturday in 3 states, I plead with the security agents and INEC to be neutral in discharging their duties and let the voice of the electorate speak. They should not force any candidate that is not the people's choice on them. The INEC should use on Saturday election to right their wrongs of the February 2023 election conducted. I ask, will the supplementary budget reduce the pain of hunger, hardship, poverty, insecurity in the land? Will it bring the price of goods and services down? To me, the supplementary budget only reveal to Nigerians how the politicians intending to spend our money for themselves, thereby anger people the more. Benjamin, thank you for your message. Adegboyega Adedeji says, good morning, Mary. I hope those on the Abdulsalami Peace Committee are not receiving salaries from the federal government. Because if they are thinking it's a waste of taxpayers' fund because the essence of the committee is useless and meaningless, the peace they preach isn't practiced by those they preach it to. There is no election in Nigeria that is violence-free. In fact, it is a do-or-die affair and no arrest made or persecuted. Then you ask yourself, what is the need of the peace committee headed by the former President Abdulsalami? Adegboyega, thank you. But we need a peace committee. It's needed. And we hope that the election will be violence-free. That's what we are hoping for. Prince Ayotek from Arena Market said, good morning, Mary. It's a beautiful day. Abdulsalami preaching peace. Was it not the same thing he did during presidential election and he sees the outcome and did nothing? Therefore, we are not interested in whatsoever he is preaching. From all indication, we have come to realize he is APC member. As long as Mr. Mahmoud Yakubu remains INEC chairman, Nigerian election will keep recycling and they can't make any headway. I urge the Imolites to use their PVC and vote. Okay, I think we can't even talk about the elections. Let's just thank you. Let's keep it there. Let's keep your message here. You've made your point. Thank you, Prince Ayotek. Frank Onero from USA said the present government policy on improving the value of the naira against the dollar is not sustainable, and many other meaningful Nigerians will continue to push for a change of culture of consumption to production. Produce enough for local consumption and for export. Frank Onero, thank you for your message. Imobe Frank from Alimosho said, good morning, Mary. My question this morning is of what crucial importance is that Yatch to Nigerians at this difficult time in the country? Do these leaders have feelings at all? We were told the National Assembly suspended the Yatch purchase and diverted the money to education. Who is deceiving who here? Nigerians have entered one chance for real, big time. Where do we go from here, Nigerians? Frankie Mobe, thank you. Thank you for your message. I'll go to YouTube. I think I'll stop here with the WhatsApp. Let's go to YouTube and read one or two messages here. Okay, we have the Franklin Dixon said the drop in the price of crude oil is normal with demand and supply factors. Nigerians and the government at all levels must diversify the streams of revenue generation outside of oil. We have what it takes to do it. Thank you very much. Thank you. My time is up. Thank you for being part of the program this morning, the Front Page Review. My name is Mary Onaife Debbie. I'll be here again tomorrow, Friday, for another edition of the program. But do join me at 9:30 for Business Around Town. We'll be talking about business strategies that you can use to grow your business. I'll have John Paul Iwoha today on the program. Coming up next now is Ogendigbo, a very interesting program. You don't want to miss it. Keep it here.
Are you looking for the perfect getaway?
Look no further.